What's going on, everybody? So before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I just wanted to say this channel is presented by After Dark Sports and Browns After Dark. Please be sure to check out Browns After Dark every Sunday and Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Follow us at Browns After Dark on Twitter. What's up, guys? I have an exciting announcement for you today. I can now officially say that I am proud to be partnered with the Offside Sports Network. You might be asking yourself, well, what does that mean? Well, nothing on this channel is really going to change as far as what you see and hear, but this is going to open the door to more opportunities for things such as more shows, podcasts, merch down the road, sponsorships, and it's going to allow you to be a part of a fantastic community. I am very happy to be involved and partnered with the Offside Sports Network. Be sure to go check out the Discord if you would like. People in there non-stop just about every day. It's a fantastic community you're going to want to be a part of. So be sure to check out the Discord and follow Offside Sports Network on Twitter.
Oh, what a good day we have here today with you wrestling fans. And let me tell you something, I am excited for today's episode because we got some Dynamite content to talk about, and it gives me an opportunity to sit here and talk to one of the best in the business. And by golly, I am really happy. Welcome to Ringside Rambles. My name is Cole.
I'm Derek. I don't think I'm the best in the business, but I am here.
Oh, come on now. Anyways, we got some Dynamite content for you guys to take in, and Dynamo, let's get the show on the road. And we got some information to share with y'all about some Hell in a Cell. And boy, was that a pay-per-view to watch. Not. Let me tell you something about Hell in a Cell, people. I am really getting tired of watching the same old show every single day, and especially every single time that WWE has a pay-per-view. Let's get right into this muddy, swampy mess of a pay-per-view that we got here. First off, Bianca Belair has defeated Becky Lynch and Asuka in a triple threat match. Would you like to begin, Derek?
I can. I'll be honest, and me and Cole were talking about this kind of at the beginning here. For the good majority of these matches, I kind of half watched, half was on my phone. Me and Cole were just talking about it. I'm dealing with an injury. Cole's dealing with his stuff. So, I mean, to sit here and kind of watch something, it's not exactly fun when it's not entertaining, especially when you're in pain and then you're in more pain because you're watching terrible wrestling. But it's what I saw that first match, I know they kicked off the show with it. More so, I guess I want to talk about the mid to back half of the match. I thought it was actually pretty decent. There was a lot of false finishes that worked, in my opinion. Um, I think the triple threat with these three, it just never seemed like Becky was a legitimate chance to win. We all know how much they've used her as champion over the last however long. Like it just wasn't going to happen. So I understand why they put her in the match, but I wouldn't have. I would have just had it one-on-one, Asuka versus Bianca. But towards the end there, it kind of got a little mixed up and messy with false finishes of all three of them. And then the finish itself, Becky Lynch hits her finisher and or no, I'm sorry. I think it was Bianca hit her finisher. Becky threw her out of the ring. Bianca comes back in and then throws geez, I'm mixing up names. Bianca comes back in and throws Becky out of the ring and gets the pin. I want to say that's how it was. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but not bad. I mean, Bianca retains, not surprising. So overall, what I saw of it, it wasn't terrible, but I think it just got a little too messy for my taste with the three of them because I don't think they really needed all three of them in that match. I think it could have just been a one-on-one. What'd you think about that one, Cole?
Yeah, I didn't see a lot in this. I just thought it was a big mess. First off, I don't know what Asuka's doing in this, what she has to do with this match. It just confuses me. And then Becky Lynch coming in again. going for yet another round with Bianca. It's like they're continuing to use the same paper towel to wipe things down with, and that's kind of the theme that we're getting with this entire pay-per-view overall. I mean, okay, yeah, keep the belt on Bianca just for a little, snap, crackle, and pop. But overall, it's just there was a lot going on here, a little too much, just sloppy. Overall, I mean, not really much you could really say here, especially when right now creative, I feel like is just in a bind because the last pay per view was the same way, and they're still trying to come off of WrestleMania and use the momentum into WrestleMania. But unfortunately, that rag was used in March, and we're in June, and boy, I really hope they got something for SummerSlam because if this is going to be the same old show that they're going to carry on through the entire summer, this is going to be a long, boring, and dirty time to be watching anything concerning the wrestling business.
Absolutely. It's I think it's just it's the boat that they've put themselves in booking wise. And we'll talk about this here after we get through Hell in a Cell, but it's even like with Roman. You build him up to be this massive, massive star, and that's great. I think they've done a really good job for the most part with Roman, but at the same time, well, what happens when your number one star is no longer on TV? It just becomes a problem. So I think looking at this card from Hell in a Cell as a whole, I see a lot of the same things. Omos, Bobby, Corbin versus Moss, more of the same stuff. It's just a problem. But um, what's the next one we got to talk about here from Hell in a Cell?
Anyways, coming up next, talking about dirty used rags from WrestleMania and matches that people are really getting tired of watching. Bobby Lashley defeats Omos and MVP. Yeah, I didn't even bother watching it because it's the same old show every day. Boring. Next. Do you have anything?
I thought this is gonna sound really bad, but I thought it was actually better than a lot of the other matches they did just because MVP was in there and MVP's actually a good worker. And that's not a slight against Bobby. Don't take that, like that. It's more so of just what we've talked about, Cole. You can't make magic with just one person. You got to have something there to work with. At least this time, Bobby had MVP for a couple spots in this match where he could kind of go to MVP and rely on him for that, and then just let Omos, do his usual stumbling around the ring. But outside of that, I really don't have anything.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they just put MVP there just to get just to keep things a little fresh and just add a little, cannon fodder to the actual match. But even still, uh, another one of those examples of creative backing themselves into a hole and trying to keep the momentum from WrestleMania going through. But hey, at least the good news is there was actually a good match in this. Kevin Owens versus Ezekiel. Boy, go ahead.
I'm kind of disappointed because I actually missed this match. I took a shower, but I don't have anything I can say on the match. But I do have a little tidbit here from the Ezekiel side of things. Maybe a lack of full on creative planning on Ezekiel slash Elias's part. Cole, I was on Instagram and I was scrolling and it shows suggested followers. And Ezekiel came up and I thought, huh, that's interesting. Let me go look at it. Not that I would follow him, but I just wanted to look. Well, lo and behold, you scroll about halfway through the page down. Look whose picture's on there. It's Elias. Hey, buddy, don't you think you should make a new account? Come on. That's all
Yeah,
I had to say.
yeah. This just I don't know what they're. I can understand trying to repackage somebody, but the way they're trying to repackage this guy, I mean, come on, this is not Undertaker switching to the American Badass gimmick in 2000. This is not anywhere near that quality of good. They just repackaged this guy to a new name and a new look, and that's about it. Everything else is still the same thing. And then Kevin Owens is still trying to go back to saying he's Elias, and the crowd coming out in the All-State Center saying this is Elias and all this other stuff. I mean, goodness. If you're going to repackage somebody, at least do a better job because what they're doing with this guy is just it's a little disrespectful.
I don't hate it. It's kind of funny sometimes, but I think they overdo it.
Yeah, it could be better. It could be better.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyways, next on our list, Judgment Day has defeated AJ Styles, Finn Balor, and Liv Morgan.
Yeah,
What was
you know
that?
what? I'll be honest, I actually thought this was a pretty solid match. I mean, a lot of times with these six-man tags, it can get really complicated and almost overbooked as far as big time spots. Everybody in this match can work. I think they did a really good job. I Despite some people's beliefs, I actually thought Liv Morgan kind of held her own there in this match, which we talk about how great of a worker Rhea Ripley is. Obviously Balor, Styles, Priest, and Edge. We know what they can do, but Rhea does a great job, and I thought Liv, being in a big time match like this, I thought she actually did a pretty solid job. Given what she can do, obviously she doesn't have the strength or the physical abilities that Ripley does, but I thought they actually did a pretty solid job here, to be completely honest. Now, we'll talk about what happened on Raw with this respective group here shortly, but this match, to be honest, I thought actually was pretty good. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I thought, given what we've been pushed out and force fed, overall, I mean, this is one of the better highlights, better looking matches that we've seen in a while, especially with the stable. And I think they had a lot of fun doing this. It looked really good. It looked clean, and Liv definitely held her own. Rhea Ripley looks amazing, and overall, I thought this was just a wonderful, good 4-star match. Just for what it was. I mean, just being a 6-man brawl.
Yeah, for nothing to really be on the line, I thought they did a really good job of making it watchable,
Hmm.
brought interest in. I thought they did a pretty good job.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And then we go right into Happy Corbin and Madcap. Why do I sound depressed? Because I am. Because why are we getting pushed these little squash matches? And the next one was not much better either. In fact, actually, I think it was even worse. But Madcap Moss defeated Happy Morgan. Do you have anything on this?
Well, I don't know
Happy
who Happy Morgan is, but Happy
Happy
Corbin.
Yeah, thank you.
I was gonna say, I was like, did they rebrand Live again? What? No, the match itself was the same match we've seen since WrestleMania. I understand doing a trilogy between Cody and Rollins, but is this a match we need to see 50 times? No. At least Moss has kind of a new look, which he looks better. I'll give you that much. But generic as it may be, I just don't know why they keep doing this. If there was interest there, I would see it, but I it's probably the most skippable part of this entire pay-per-view, in my opinion. It just I couldn't care less. So, I mean, what I watched of it, it wasn't terrible, but I mean, you're having SmackDown quality matches on pay-per-views, and that's my problem with it. I just don't understand the decision making. I think it's just a lack of long-term planning with their mid card, and that's why we're where we're at with this rivalry.
Hmm. Yeah, and obviously my wonderful botch saying Happy Morgan instead of Happy Corbin, obviously goes to show just how interested I was because obviously I don't care about this match, and it was the only SmackDown match of the night, and it was still Like, I feel like they could have done a better job just on regular free Fox TV rather than putting this on some premium live event, as they like to call. What happened to pay-per-views? I mean, come on. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, and theory. This was not a good day for pay-per-views, man. This was not. This was just, man. Come on. They can't do any better. Theory versus Mustafa Ali, and this was
Yeah.
just.
And you know what the sad part about this is?
Mhm.
Both of these guys can work to an extent. I just don't think they really let them go out there and do everything. If this was a match that happened on a house show or was taking place in a different company or on the indies or something like that, it would have been a
Mhm.
lot better. Um, they're building up for, and we'll probably talk about this. We'll add this to the list of stuff to talk about. Austin Theory is going to end up facing John Cena when he comes back here at the end of the month. That just seems what all signs are pointing to. So clearly, they're not going to take the strap off of Theory. So it's good that you're getting your mid card title on a show, but at the same time, it wasn't good. And I personally I don't really blame either of these two guys. It's just the situation they were put into, and you can't work magic with a bag of dog crap. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Needless to say, that was just another blow off match, only to go to the main event, which again, Cody's good, Seth is good, but I think it's time to move it on.
Yeah,
They this again. This is once again continuing to reuse and abuse the same dirty, ugly, smelly rag that was already used for WrestleMania, and now we're in June and we're still seeing the same stuff. Cody Rhodes defeats Seth Rollins once again, and obviously we saw earlier in the show that Happy Corbin was going to break out a table, and the fans were chanting, "We want tables," and Corbin didn't use it because obviously I believe they used a table for this match. And as a matter of fact, yeah, my memory is not doing too well today, but yes, they did use a
yeah, they
table
did.
for this match. Anyways, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Okay, I'll reuse the same speaking points that I've used before. Both are excellent workers. Both know how to do all the psychology and get the fans into the matches, and they know how to keep a good tempo. And the high point of the match was Cody challenges Seth to a bull rope match. Hey, you know what? They gotta do something. They gotta do something. I mean, come on.
I thought it
When
was a
you're
nice touch, to be honest.
yeah, it was. They gotta do something. Shoot. It was a nice touch, but hey, uh still reusing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was by far the best match on the card. First of all, let's start off from the top. Seth Rollins comes out in a Dusty Rhodes polka dotted attire.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was I knew that had to be coming because we hadn't seen that yet. And I thought it was a really nice touch, especially given what happened, obviously, because then Mr. American Nightmare comes out and I can't even say selling because it's not selling, it's a real injury. When he does his entrance, he throws out both arms and there goes the pyro. Well, one arm was out and the other was kind of out. And the whole time in my head, I was like, okay, is this just a work to get out of this match happening again? And no, it wasn't because Cody Rhodes takes off his robe, and boy, the picture was just not good at all. I mean, you could kind of see it on your screen a little bit there. Um, his entire pec is torn off the bone. Now, I listened to Pat McAfee's show. And if you guys know Pat McAfee from wrestling, he does sports commentary. Kind of, obviously he's way better at it, but kind of like me, I'd talk about wrestling, talk about sports, mess around, whatever. He does that on a much higher level, but he had AJ Hawk, Buckeye legend, Packers legend, and they were kind of talking about it. And AJ had said that when he saw that, he was shocked because he had that same injury, and he said that's how it looks, because essentially it just kind of bleeds and bruises all down your arm like that. And the pain that he had to be in is just unbelievable to me. I mean, Cody put on a great match, and this is one of the things McAfee said. It wasn't like he went out there and just went through the motions. Both of these guys went out there full forced, complete full effort, and put on a great match. I think they had a nice use of weapons in this match. You talked about the table spot earlier in the show. I think the table spot worked here as well. Maybe not as effective, but the bull rope and just I thought the story as a whole was great. The last like 5 minutes of that match. First of all, Cody finally hit a pedigree, which they've been teasing that for the last few months, and it happened. That was nice. Just the false finishes back and forth worked so well, in my opinion. Cody hits the crossroads. I think he's going for another one, changes his mind, grabs a sledgehammer, hits Seth. 1, 2, 3. And I'm glad that the sledgehammer was kind of the thing that put him away, because a lot of times you'll see the sledgehammers are more used so as like a kendo stick. Where if you're thinking in real life, would you rather be hit with a stick or a sledgehammer? So in my opinion, they should be used more effectively, not just as a throw in weapon spot. So I thought it was great. Given the scenario, it's not like they could scrap that match, because what else did they have? They had nothing that could go in the main event. So credit to Cody for going out there and, going through that pain and pushing as hard as he did. And then credit for Seth, because, as his opponent, you don't want to hurt him worse, but at the same time, you want it to look good. And I thought both of them went out, they work well together. It's the last match of this trilogy. And yeah, it went long, but to wrap this up, I thought it was a really, really good match inside Hell in a Cell. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. For what it was, and Cody being injured somewhat at that point, not to the extent that we have found out, which we're going to get into that right now. It was a good match. So, anyways, let's go to the Raw after this abomination of a pay per view, and let's talk about Raw. Yeah. Anyways, Raw's ratings garnered 1.8 million people and was a 0.52 into 18 to 49 demographic rating. So obviously could be better, but hey. Anyways, to the more interesting part, let's do a deep dive into Cody Rhodes' injury. So Cody Rhodes, uh, obviously we just talked about that he tore his pec and is going to be out. Do you know how long he's going to be out?
I believe it is going to be well, first of all, they said on Smackdown 9 months, but they're saying that so when he comes back early, it can be like, oh my gosh, he was supposed to be out 9 months. I hear it's like a 6 to 8 month recovery. I could be wrong on that. I'm not a doctor, obviously, but not good. Not good when Cody Rhodes is your number one star there on Monday Night Raw. So not good at all.
Boy, Raw is going to really be suffering. Yeah. according to WWE, they're saying for the next 9 months, maybe less, maybe more. Overall, he's going to be out for a while. Will we see him again here in the next 3 to 4 months as some uh, promo guy opening the show or something like that? Maybe. We don't know for sure, but overall, Cody's out. So what that means for Raw, I don't even want to know. All I can say is Ross is about to become. Did I say Ross? What the hell? Raw is about to become very hard to watch. So okay.
Well, actually, I think this is a not to cut you off, but I think we should just transition into this now. Speaking of Monday Night Raw, and what they're gonna do, making his return, Mr. You Can't See Me above my head, or not my head, but my logo there, coming back to Raw. I believe they said the 26th or no, it's the 29th, I want to say. Whatever. Um, it's the 20th anniversary of John Cena, which is kind of crazy because my entire life John Cena's been in the WWE. Um, so we kind of talked about it earlier. It seems that they're setting up for Cena versus the man above your logo, Austin Theory, maybe for a United States Championship. Um, Cole, I guess my question to you would be: we saw
hmm
Cena have a really good U.S. title run way back in 2016, maybe earlier. They had Kevin Owens come up, and they had a great rivalry there. What do you think they do with Cena? Do they take the title off of Theory and have Cena kind of run the ship for a little bit? What do you think's going to happen?
That depends. Yeah, it would be nice to see Cena kind of run the tables a little bit, but that depends on how long he's going to be there. If it's just like a one night stand, like Steve Austin, I mean, that'd be kind of weird to put the title on Cena. But if they're planning on doing a little run with them, hey, credit to them. I like the sound of that. So
Yeah.
it's totally possible. Just depends on how long they're going to keep him around.
Yeah, I don't know. There've been a ton of theories out there, pun intended, on what they're going to have Cena do, but the other theory is what you're seeing on your screen right now. Monday Night Raw Judgment Day was supposed to be adding another member, and instead of adding another member, they replaced a member, the leader, Edge. And there's a lot of speculation going on. One of them is that Cena is going to face Edge kind of in a main event scene to kind of replace Cody. But I don't know. I mean, I was kind of surprised when Judgment Day broke up in a sense. Um, what do you think they're doing here? Because the speculation is that Edge did not like the creative direction. So, do they think Balor can't get over as a babyface? What do you think's going to happen with Judgment Day going forward?
That's going to be interesting to see. I really couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but my speculation and guess would be that I feel like taking Edge out of the picture and kind of making Finn Balor the lead man in the ring for this stable. I'm interested to see how the dynamic is going to be between Edge and Balor. I mean, I wonder. Kind of interested to see how they're going to play this out, but overall, I really couldn't tell you because I mean this is kind of one of those weird things that nobody was completely expecting to happen. So just kind of nice little swerve just to keep people eyed on the prize that is Monday Night Raw, which I wouldn't really call that a prize though. So
No. I almost wonder if the roles get reversed here and Edge starts working with AJ and Liv. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but at this point, the group of Judgment Day is going to stay just with a new leader. So I don't know. We'll see, but It is definitely interesting seeing what they're going to do going forward there. And moving forward here for us, one of the things we wanted to kind of mention quickly is down in the new version of the NXT 2.0. The people on your screen now, Braun Breaker seems to have his next opponent, Apollo Crews in NXT. Cole, what do you think about this?
Absolutely. That's nice. Nice uh little change, and gives something Braun allows Braun Breaker to I don't know, bring out more of his style. We're just starting to really see how good he is, and also really happy that they're giving Apollo Crews a little extra to do. So obviously NXT is going to be the one to really pay attention to now, since Raw is on hold since Cody Rhodes is down, and SmackDown as well. We know how that is. We'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, but to see a little, it's going to be really nice to see this little angle with Braun and Apollo. So I am something I'm actually looking forward to watching over the next month or two. So, but
Yeah,
anyways, NXT had some pretty good ratings, 675,000, and they're improving in the demographics. So we'll see. But
yeah,
this
not
might be a
bad.
nice little shift and swerve, and um, a little bright light in a dark room to look at.
Yeah, I mean, they're not doing anything with Apollo Crews, which, by the way, they're not just calling him Apollo. He's actually going again by Apollo Crews. Thank God. Um, and I mean, this is going to give Braun some real competition as far as the athleticism side of things, because Cruz is an incredible athlete. And I think the styles are going to match up perfectly. And I think in the ring, as a visual, Cruz is a big guy as far as muscle wise. Um, Braun is a really big guy as far as his looks. So I think it's a great matchup, to be honest. It's not
Yeah,
something that I thought of. So credit to them for coming up with this.
yeah. So I think they're probably burying Raw just so they can get NXT's viewership up a little bit. So well, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's TBD, I guess.
Anyways, moving on to the next WWE show, SmackDown. So for SmackDown on the 3rd of June, they did a 1.9 viewership and 0.47 on the 18 to 49 demographic. And we have some pretty interesting news here. So this is a little background of what happened on SmackDown from the 10th of June. So let's take a look at here. So Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus Money in the Bank qualifying match ended via DQ with steel chairs. And after that, Michael Cole announced the Cody Rhodes information. So, anyways, next thing we had was Lacey Evans defeated Shiley to qualify for another Money in the Bank ladder match. Okay, that might be interesting. The Viking Raiders are announced that they are returning to SmackDown. So next
Nice.
thing,
I didn't know they were gone, but good to have them back. They're good workers.
yeah,
Just let them
yeah,
work.
absolutely. SmackDown Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey defeats Shotzi. Now Ronda versus number one contender for Natalia for the women's title will take place in Money in the Bank. That might be a decent match. And now we really get to the fun, fun, fun. Yes. This is the one everybody was wanting to see. Now my mood is enlightened and I'm a little happier. Walter, not Gunther, Walter defeated Ricochet, and boy, this is the one that is going around hot, hot, hot in the news, wrestling news that is, and on Twitter. Did you see that chop?
Dude.
Boy, was
I
that the
What'd I
was that
tell
the
you? As
yeah.
soon as it happened, As soon as it happened, I texted you immediately, and I just said, "LOL, Walter just chopped the soul out of Ricochet." I mean, oh my gosh.
Boy, was that the chop heard around the world. Ricochet got chopped, and boy, did he sell that. And he flew back, and man, it's you could hear that in the arena. It sounded like it hurt, and I bet you it did because man, that selling that Ricochet did was something else. Oh boy.
Absolutely.
And in the end, Walter wins the Intercontinental Championship from Ricochet. So good little title change. That's nice. But overall, man, this match was the one match that everybody had been waiting for because, okay, we just got off a bad pay per view. We just got off a bad Raw. Cody's gone. We need somebody to really keep the heat going, and boy did Walter provide. And I'm telling you right now, kudos to creative for giving this guy a push because this guy can really work and really generate money.
Absolutely. I mean, this was the match as a whole could have been a lot better if it was not a TV match. If it was a pay-per-view match and they had more freedom, I think it would have been a lot better, but for what it was, I mean, I thought it was really, really good. Ricochet, I kind of feel bad for the man. They never really let him, work and kind of get that IC title over, kind of to the old days. And I had a feeling he was gonna drop it when they announced the match, and I'm excited that he did because no offense to Ricochet, they have a star here. And it's like, dude, there's a couple things that I think can come out of this. Walter can prove that he can be a top champion. B, they can get that IC title back on the map. Because if you have Walter working on pay-per-views and working in a more meaningful spot based on kind of how they've built him so far on SmackDown, he can have that IC title feeling like it's the world championship. So I am excited. I can't wait to see where they go from here. Now, I hope they let him hold it for a long, long time because, and this is kind of getting into our next topic. This man right here has been pulled from Money in the Bank. And if you're not going to have your champions, whatever, on your pay-per-views, you need to have something else. And this guy on my screen now can make that title feel like either one of these titles. Tell me I'm wrong. You can't.
Mm. And more interesting news, and this is kind of the one that's just making me scratch my head a little bit, but hey, I guess it could work. Nah, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Riddle defeated Sami Zayn to earn an undisputed WWE Universal Championship match against Roman Reigns on next week's SmackDown. And the Usos attacked Riddle after the match, and then Riddle beat him up with a kendo stick to end the show. But Riddle is getting a Universal Championship title match? Matt Riddle?
Yeah.
What? You got you got Walter, you got well, Cody's out, so can't be him. Oops. You could probably use Randy Orton. You got all these other people, and you're pushing Matt Riddle for a Universal Championship match? Are you kidding me? Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, Matt Riddle is a decent worker, but this is with the current gimmick that he's got, man. A, a Universal title match against Roman Reigns? Are you serious? What is this? Kevin Owens would be better. Kevin Owens would be better. But Matt Riddle for a title match? What?
Yeah.
Oh
I
boy.
mean, I guess here's my thing. Matt Riddle's not ready for a main event yet, but if you're gonna do this match, why are you doing it on SmackDown? Your main champion needs to be at the pay-per-view to sell the pay-per-view, sell the premium live event, but you're gonna have him on SmackDown. I mean, it's clear that Roman's gonna hold the titles at
Yeah,
least at the
obviously.
very minimum till SummerSlam, which I still don't think he's gonna lose at SummerSlam, whoever he ends up facing. But it's like if you're gonna do a championship match, do it at SummerSlam. I mean, the IC title you can get away with, on a regular show, but Roman is built right now to be the unstoppable monster, and you're gonna have him defend on SmackDown. It doesn't make sense to me. But you got anything
Yeah.
else on that?
Well, not only that, but like you said about the pay-per-views, where they should be pushing this match to be done on pay-per-view. I can see why they're doing it on SmackDown because Matt Riddle doing a Universal Championship match against Roman Reigns. If they did that for pay-per-view, who the hell's gonna buy that? Matt Riddle?
Well, yeah, but at
Matt Riddle?
least with that, they can have more matches, whereas the SmackDown, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's
Still, either way, Matt Riddle. Oh, I can't do this no more, man. No, click. Anyways, uh, to wrap up our WWF, or I'm sorry, WWE, because we took the F out of the E, or whatever the hell they did. Paige. Paige
yes.
is on her way out. She has announced on her Twitter, and here is her official statement. Paige here, July 7th will be the last day with WWE. I am so thankful and I appreciate the opportunities the company has given me. I will always be appreciative of the company that took an 18-year-old British pale emo girl that didn't look like your average diva, giving me the chance of a lifetime, making me feel like a superstar. I'm obviously not wearing my glasses for this. Anyways, I know after my neck injury taking me out of in-ring status, it was pretty hard to keep me around for as long as you did, and I'm thankful for that too. Thank you to WWE Universe. Blah. Okay, but yep, Paige is on her way out. Unfortunate, I feel like she was a pretty decent to good worker. Yeah, it's unfortunate that she's leaving. It's unfortunate what happened to her with her neck injury, but these things happen, and this is why the wrestling business isn't always for everyone. I mean, gee, we're still waiting on Big E to come back. He was really messed up, and now we got a missing Cody. Ugh, boy, they're
Yeah.
getting a little,
I
they're
mean,
getting a little, they're getting a little thin on their talent roster.
good for her because I think she's now going to be cleared. My guess would be because she had the neck injury, and I don't know what the status of that is, but I can tell you this much: if she was going to get cleared again, it wasn't going to be in this company. So I think
Mm.
this is more so of her wanting to get in the ring again. So I'd like to see her, if she can come back, head to the other major company, AEW, which we're going to get into shortly, but because they desperately need some help in that women's division for their stars, because really, it's kind of just Britt Baker, Ruby, Jade Cargill's great, but she's still very, very raw. So
Hmm.
it would be nice to see Paige get thrown in there and kind of make her name known again.
Anyways, let's get to the competition. And boy, am I looking forward to talking about the competition. Oh man, oh man, oh man, have I been itching to talk about this? AEW. So, if anybody is not aware as to the explosive nuclear SAR bomba that just got dropped on last week's AEW, boy, and to think that they couldn't get more viewers. The night that MJF dropped his bomb, they got 939,000 viewers. And the week after, they only got 928. I was expecting to break a million because honestly, dude, that promo was hot, hot, hot in public, if you will. And let's just go ahead and get into the promo. Let's get into that promo. Boy.
Well, let's just say this first. Apologies to everybody. We did talk about this a long couple days ago. And we've clearly now switched to StreamYard, which is way better for me. It's easier, I think, for the both of us. So we're kind of re-talking about this, but even now, regardless that it's been a couple days since that promo was dropped, I mean, it is still very, very hot. And especially given now that we know MJF is not there, brings a little bit more realism to it, Cole. But I'll let you go first on it, and then I'll share my thoughts. Are you there?
Whoops, I had a little snafu there with my wonderful microphone. But anyways, now that I'm back and rambling on, let's get right into the hot stuff. MJF, for those of you that don't know, has been having some issues with Tony's shitty booking and how they've been treating him, and obviously they've been having some issues with money payout contract and everything. Just overall, everything cash and creative is just not coming in. And finally, we get this wonderful pipe bomb promo, and everybody's saying that oh, this was as good as CM Punk, or oh, this was as good. This was like a Ric Flair promo, like what he did back in the '90s. Bischoff, you turn the camera off, and I'll be naked when we come back. And Scott Steiner, he did that pipe bomb, well, quote unquote pipe bomb promo. You got Ric Flair, number 2, the Nature Boy, a 53-year-old man that had more loose skin than a Shar-Pei puppy, come out here and say he's still the man. You got that, and then you got CM Punk's pipe bomb where he sat down and then he started going off about, let me tell you something about Vince McMahon, and boom, mic
Maybe
cut.
this company will be better off when Vince McMahon's dead, but it's
Yeah.
just gonna get thrown off to his doofus son-in-law and his what do you say? Something of a daughter.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'll let you finish, but I told Cole back when it happened. I said, dude, I went back and listened to the Punk pipe bomb after the MJF one as well, just to compare. Oh my gosh, dude, the memories, and just you can kind of notice some elements thrown in from each. What a great
Oh, there
promo.
was a lot. There was a lot more that we didn't cover. Now that we've had a chance to further evaluate what happened that night. But let me tell you, people, something. That promo that MJF did, I watched CM Punk's pipe bomb and I watched all the other pipe bombs and stuff, and and I'll be honest with you, I think MJF, that was the best pipe bomb promo I have ever heard, because CM Punk sounded calm and collected during his pipe bomb promo compared to what MJF did. What MJF did, he was like, "Wow, boss, all of these big executives are here tonight. It would be a shame if somebody were to ruin that for you." Oh man. And he's like, and I have been coming out here and y'all have been expecting me to hit grand slams, and I've been doing that shit every single night.
And he's not
And
wrong.
and not only that, and then he continues going on. He's like, and you've been hoarding all this money from me so you could pay these ex WWE stars. And then the audience lost it. They went, ooh, man. If you have not watched MJF's pipe bomb, you need to go see it, because this is the best promo I have ever heard in my life. There has not been a promo that can match that. Work, shoot, I don't care. Not even James E. Cornette could top this one. I mean, and that's a promo god himself. And Paul Heyman has done some hellacious promos,
Yep.
and I still don't even think Paul Heyman could top this. And even Vince McMahon couldn't top this. This was the best promo I have ever heard. Fire me, you fucking Mark, and the mic gets cut off. Boy, just that alone was excellent, man. He blew the roof off that place. And then at the end, there's a fan who recorded this that was standing ringside. And right at the end of that promo, you see who's walking down the ramp. CM Punk is walking down the ramp chasing MJF with a broken foot. That's just icing on the cake. And I'm sorry they didn't see that, but man, all I could imagine the beginning was hearing Jim Ross say, "Hey, we go next to MJF, and we're going to see what he's got to say coming up about his next match with Wardlow." And then all of a sudden we hear this promo. Oh my goodness, boy! That promo is stuff we need to be seeing, because after that, I wanted to see what's going to happen next. That's how you sell tickets and draw money. But obviously, that's become a lost art these days in the wrestling industry.
It was so good, and I'll kind of start with the end. When he looked into that camera and said, "Tony, I want you to fire me," and everybody, or no, he said, okay, let's rewind. He said, everybody in the back wants my spot. Well, they can have it. Tony, I want you to fire me. Fire me, you fucking Mark. Fire me. And then everybody's losing their mind. Here's what I will say. I don't personally think it is the best promo of all time, but it has the best delivery of a promo of all time. I've gone back, I've listened to the Heyman 2001 against Vince McMahon. I've gone back and listened to Brian Pillman ECW style promos, the Ric Flairs, the pipe bomb, which is obviously the one that's it's kind of being compared to here. I'll say this for me personally, I think as far as the contents of the promo, I think Punk's is better, because what he's talking about is in a company that would never, ever, ever be allowed to say those things in the PG era, and that's what he did. Now, MJF's promo, the delivery was fantastic. Talking about, you're taking that, you're hoarding that money to pay all the ex WWE guys who couldn't lace my boots. Just the phenomenal work. I mean, even calling out the fans, everybody was cheering. He goes, "Oh, do I hear cheers? Well, where were you guys this past weekend where you were calling me an asshole and unprofessional?" Just stuff like that. It's just he did such a phenomenal job. And the question of whether if it's legit, whether if it's a work, that's what fans are gonna do. And the reality is, regardless, like you kind of said earlier, it was incredible. And when you look at the fact that, he hasn't been on the shows, he's been taken off the roster. I don't believe he's selling merch right now. Ric Flair talked about,
they took him off completely.
Yeah, Ric Flair talked about his one of his promos with I believe it was with Bischoff, and he had said, the contents of that promo was a shoot. And I almost kind of feel the same way here. Whether if behind the scenes they have deals worked out or not, whatever, the contents of that promo was straight from the heart, straight his opinions, straight everything he's wanted, I should say, to say for a long time. And there's no better worker when it comes to the character side of the business and the execution of the character. Whether if you talk about meet and greets, weekly shows, he's not the best in-ring worker. He's very good, but when it comes to telling a story, there's nobody better in the business right now. And I think he might be the best in the business as far as storytelling in the last decade. I mean, go from the 2000. Well, okay, so what is it? 2022. Go from 2012 to now, and tell me who is a better storyteller in the professional wrestling business. Because Tony Khan talked about this, and in his post whatever pay-per-view scrum, when he had Punk up there, he's like, Punk did the best numbers of all time with MJF. And even stuff that's just not even you shouldn't care about, he makes it entertaining because for whatever reason, he just has that ability to make you buy into whatever he's trying to sell. And you know what the best part of MJF is? You don't know if he's an asshole in real life or not because he makes you believe he is, even if he actually is. And I just think as a worker, if he does end up going to the WWE or down the line, whenever, they better let him do him, because if they do, they have a legitimate star for many, many years to come. I believe he's 26 years old, which in the wrestling business is beyond a baby. I mean, look at Ric Flair still trying to get in the ring. I mean, it's unbelievable. So I know I'm kind of rambling here, and this is the Ringside Rambles podcast, but it's unbelievable, and I'm still kind of speechless about it because he, in my opinion, has officially kind of etched his legacy forever. At least when it comes to storytelling and on the mic, MJF, in my opinion, will go down as one of the greats, and he's got many years to go. So we will see what happens long term, but in the short term after this promo, man, it is just unbelievable.
And speaking of promos, I forgot to mention there was 1997 Bret Hart. Even though that
Yeah.
was a work, that was still good. Frustrated is a goddamn word for it. This is bullshit.
Yep.
And boy, that would for Bret Hart usually not being the best. Well, he's considered not to be the best promo, but I mean, hell of a worker. But anyways, for Bret Hart, that was like wow. That was awesome. Anyways, here's the latest information we have on the fallout from MJF. So, according to backstage sources from Pro Wrestling Insider, or actually, I'm sorry, the Wrestling Observer, that is my mistake. Quote, one noted being very unhappy about, I'm sorry, uh, MJF noted being very unhappy about it, believing that playing games with talent, keeping executives in the dark on key issues was something that they had hoped this company would never do. One called it a sloppy work that in the long run would benefit nobody. The one thing is clear that even if he had purchased a ticket and got the story out, then quickly canceled the ticket, that part of the story was a work that would make sure to get out. And of course, they took all his stuff down. But yeah, he bought. Apparently, he was so bad he going to pull Steve Austin and buy a plane ticket and go home. But overall, yeah, they removed the merchandise. He's not on TV. They basically, I mean, they fired him without officially firing him in a sense. So, according to this, but overall, man, wow, that was just something to behold. And man, and his CM Punk coming after him after that. That was funny. Speaking of CM Punk, so we have information that says here that CM Punk is injured and requires surgery. Boy, what are they doing with their stars in AEW? MJF even went off of this on the Pipe Bomb promo. At least I don't drop my opponents on their heads like your favorite marks and stars like to do. And obviously, CM Punk is
Oh,
the latest guy. Go on.
I'm glad you said that, not to cut you off, but the one thing kind of wrapping up with the MJF promo that I wanted to say, the best part was the part where he said what you just talked about, but he said, I don't have to do a bunch of hokey and stupid BS to get you invested. You know what I mean? I get you to buy in regardless. That was my favorite part. Anyway, continue.
But anyways, according to this, yeah, CM Punk is injured, will require surgery, and he will not be vacating the title. and their interim world champion will be crowned this month at Forbidden Door, where John Moxley will face a New Japan star for the for the interim world title. And
Yep.
according to Wrestling Observer, Punk suffered a foot injury which occurred when he jumped to the crowd, which jumped to the crowd on the post Double or Nothing episode of Dynamite, and he hit the guardrail hard.
Which of course, that's what would happen.
And then
Celebrating.
after that, Punk made multiple botches in a 6-man tag match. And continuing on with CM Punk, after AEW's Double or Nothing, there was a media press conference or media scrum, and with CM Punk sitting right next to Tony Khan. And all I have to ask is, who is letting this boy, this child, run a wrestling company? Who is letting
his billionaire father?
Obviously, well, not only that, well, billionaire father can't even run a football team right or a soccer team right. The Khans are failures, but they have a lot of money. But are they failures when it comes to sports? They're failures. They're horrible at running wrestling. The Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, look at what happened to Urban Meyer, and then some.
I was just about to say, hey, Shad Khan, if you happen to watch this, as a Buckeye, I'm sorry for my coach.
Well, not that, but Shad Khan, fuck you. Anyways, let's just throw that in there because honestly, the Jacksonville Jaguars are just shits. AEW is a shits, and their I think in Manchester, their football club in the UK is shits, and they're revolting in the UK. And everything the Khans have touched has honestly crumbled to dust. They have no idea what the hell they're doing with all that money, and obviously, someday somebody's gonna fucking come in and kick them the hell out, and they're gonna be fucking destitute where they need to be because they have no business running fuck all anything. And to add on to how bad the Khans run, I mean, come on, look, fucking Tony Khan doing that press scrum, going like, f bomb, fuck, piss, and yeah, and the CM Punk, and he's so good, and you can just see the little white dash of cocaine under his fucking nose. What an
Dude,
asshole!
poor Punk, because he's sitting there that whole time in that interview just going, man, I gotta gotta keep my mouth shut here.
But yeah, and not only that, but I mean Tony Khan. Hold on, Tony Khan. Is let me hold on 1 second. Anyways, Tony Khan is 39 years old. He has a bachelor in finance, and he's going out there doing a press conference with all these cuss words and sounding like he's coked up and drugged up and
Sounds like
looks
he's in high school.
Yeah, he sounds like a 12-year-old kid, that's just stuttering. I mean, hell, he stutters worse than I do, and I know I'm bad, but
You know what?
my
You know what he
God.
does? He sounds like that sophomore freshman in high school who somehow gets invited to the parties that the seniors and juniors have, and he's like, he just talks like he's a part of the group. Like it's, I get it. You have money, cool. I wish I could have my own company and do this stuff too, but like, come on, dude.
Yeah, but then again, we'd actually run it and run it really good, and we know how to book, sorta. But like, we could do better booking than Tony Khan could do, honestly. But but this guy, you look at all the pictures and stuff, and this guy looks like he's on drugs or something heavy. Like, boy, cocaine owes nothing. I don't know what he's got, but boy, I'd like to be on whatever he's got because it must be good. Because man, if I'm going around rambling around saying fuck all the time in official press conferences, no doubt, with your top star who is injured, Boy. Hey, you know what? Tony Khan, if you ever listen to this, not first off, fuck you. Second off, please keep doing this because you are giving everybody, myself, Derek here, all these other wrestling podcasts, Cornette, you just continuing to feed us content because every time you make yourself look like an asshole, you give us something to laugh at or actually laugh at you because you have no idea what the hell you're doing. So,
Actually, you know
with
what? I'll do
that,
you one better. MJF said, "Fire me, you fucking mark." I would say, "Hire me, you fucking mark," because I'll make your company even better.
yeah, hire us. I mean,
Yeah, hire us.
we'll give you the ratings you need. We know we can do it. I mean, we have no experience, but boy, I'm telling you, we know what we're talking about. Just take a listen. I'm telling you, we're smart. Anyways,
Some days.
speaking of Tony Khan's snafus and dumb assery, we have more injuries to report in AEW because obviously nobody knows how to wrestle there because Tony Khan is paying the people that don't know how to wrestle and are just dropping people on their heads and on other orifices of their body that shouldn't be dropped on in an inappropriate way. Here is our current AEW injury list. CM Punk, your world champion. Brian Danielson, man, I feel sorry for him. I mean, I understand that he had to leave WWE just because they wouldn't renew his contract or whatever. I get that. But the way they've just booked this guy to oblivion and now he's injured. God bless. TNT champion Scorpio Sky is injured. Sting is injured. And Adam
Of
Cole
course
is
he is.
injured.
He's 80 years old.
Yeah. Well, of course, yeah, Sting's injured, of course. And then Adam Cole is injured. And they just and all of their top talent is getting injured and MJF is done. And not only that, but Samoa Joe isn't getting booked worth the fuck. And oh boy. And then they're doing these debuts like okay, Eddie Kingston. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, AEW Rampage results. This is from last Wednesday. This is from last Wednesday's Rampage. Eddie Kingston defeated Jake Hager. Interview with Tony Schiavone, Britt Baker, Doctor Britt Baker, whatever, says she
Jake's
misses
first
her.
time back in the ring post his injury, so we'll see how long it
Yeah.
takes him to get injured again.
Yeah. Says she misses her AEW Women's Championship. Okay. Satnam Singh. What the hell is why? What? Okay. If anybody doesn't know, Satnam Singh was some big Indian guy that somehow went to this, elite high school that it's like IMG.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, he went to he went to IMG. He went to
No shit.
IMG and he got drafted by the Dallas Mavericks and this guy literally all he did was play on the B teams or G teams that is for basketball until they found out that he sucks and can't
The G
play.
League?
Yeah, the G League. And now Satnam Singh somehow is a wrestler.
Well,
He's a wrestler. He went from being a shitty basketball player to now he's a fucking wrestler, wrestling Jay Lethal. He's wrestling with Jay Lethal. With Jay Lethal. And everybody knows how good Jay Lethal is. Jay Lethal is fucking amazing. And he's wrestling with they put him with Jay Lethal?
Jay Lethal should be the interim AW champion. Change my mind.
Yeah. Jay Lethal. You have Jay Lethal who could carry your company.
Carried
Literally.
Ring of Honor for a long time.
And he did a hell of a job at TNA too.
Yeah.
I mean, and you're putting him with this failed basketball player. Really? Continuing on, and then we got Chris Statlander defeated Red Velvet. Okay. And then here we go. Kira Hogan and TBS World Champion Jade Cargill attacked Statlander after the match, which led to Athena and Anna Jay making the save. Okay.
Which,
Ortiz
by the
said,
way, good
"Go
for
on."
her being in AEW now, talking about Athena, who is formerly known as Ember Moon. I always loved her in that WWE, and they never really gave her an opportunity. So hopefully in the mark of all marks company, she can do something, but who knows? But good for her getting another opportunity elsewhere.
Yeah, one little bright light in the world of darkness that is AEW. Anyways, Ortiz said he'll defeat Chris Jericho at Road Rager and take away his hair and vanity. So Chris Jericho at a hair match.
Oh,
I'd like to see that
Bald
because
Jericho, get ready.
yeah, because Chris Jericho, man. What I'm sorry, but like, man, what I don't know what they're doing with him in AEW. It's just a mess. Ethan Page. Oh yeah, here we go. Hold on. This is big news. Yeah, quote unquote big news. Fuck. Ethan Page said that when Miro lost the TNT title, he looked to the sky, prayed for forgiveness, and blamed someone else for his downfall. And then Page said he looks up to himself, believes himself, that he praised himself. Page declared that he'll defeat Miro. Blah 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 blah. Miro, and Miro is back.
That he is.
That he is. Miro has returned, apparently. So we've heard. Ay, 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 ay. Man. I haven't watched, after that one AEW episode I watched and reviewed, I haven't watched another AEW episode since, and I probably won't. I can't. I just can't. I
Well,
mean, gee.
dude, you know what's the saddest part is on the latest show, it was rough, but in my opinion, one of the greatest workers in professional wrestling, Will Ospreay, made his AEW debut,
Yeah.
and the crowd goes mild. Nobody knew who he was, and it's just like, man, this dude is busting his ass and putting on such great performances just for nobody to know him from, when he comes over to AEW. It just that nothing really gets to me, but that was kind of sad because I mean, for a guy, you got to imagine if you're really working and you make a name for yourself and then you go to the quote unquote big leagues, in America or one of the big leagues and nobody knows you, that had to really suck. So hopefully he can kind of build himself up in AEW.
Yeah, I mean, and Will Osprey, that's not a unknown name. Will Osprey is a
No.
really good wrestler. And yeah, his in-ring debut like that on AEW
Dude,
was
I
dead.
popped when I saw him come out,
Yeah.
dude. I was like,
But
"No way."
it
But
well
crowd
oh,
goes mild.
overall just they have really desensitize their crowd because Tony Khan keeps coming out saying, "Oh, we have a big announcement, a big debut, big," and now they keep doing that, and all of a sudden, oh, yeah, well, it's not. I mean, it's like what Cornette said uh, with Heyman running ECW. He was being told, he's like, "Yeah, we have a surprise every week." Well, if you have a surprise every week, then it's not a surprise anymore because you
Exactly.
desensitized everybody. And
Yep.
now this is exactly what's happening. And boy, Tony, I don't know what to tell you, man, but you're fucked.
Yeah.
um. Anyways, off of the competition, and here is the last batch of news we got. So, there has been some Twitter fodder that I've been following, and Uncle Dave Meltzer and Cornette are going at it again because Uncle Dave needs somebody to give him some
To
attention.
blame.
Yeah, give him some attention because obviously Dave Meltzer has become a total kiss ass and paid on Tony Khan's payroll. So, and they're having they had a big Twitter feud, and Jim Cornette's like, "Dude, come on, you're not gonna win. Why are you doing this? You fucking idiot."
Dude, I
Uh,
mean, when one of the top tag teams in your company's finisher is called the Meltzer driver, you're telling me that you're not on the payroll?
Meltzer driver. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Next up, we have some news that apparently Ric Flair is going back in the ring for Starcast 22 in Nashville, Tennessee. Ric Flair final match Wonder who's going to be against. We will find
I
out
heard
later.
Hulk Hogan. I swear, if Hulk Hogan gets back in the
Hogan,
ring
Hogan, wrestling Flair again.
in
I would.
2022,
Man, I want to. That I want to see. I'd like to see that too.
skip the
Old.
match. Just give me Jay Lethal and Flair having a promo battle again. That's
Yes,
what I want to
I
see.
would. I want to see Flair and Lethal, man. That would be great. But I mean,
They're
I'll settle for
training
Hogan.
together.
But yeah, no, that is true. Yeah, Flair and Lethal, they got a good rapport. Anyways, folks, do you have anything else you want to cover?
Let's. Well, we talked about Roman has been pulled from Money in the Bank. The report was that it was going to be Riddle versus Roman at Money in the Bank, and then Randy versus Roman at SummerSlam, and then at the big pay-per-view in the UK stadium show, they were going to have McIntyre versus Roman. So I don't know what they're going to do because they got to have Roman back on TV. I mean, you build him up to be everything and then you take him away and it's just like I don't know. But that's really all I had to say for this episode. You got anything else?
No, I think I covered everything on my list, so
Alrighty. Well,
we're pretty much good.
when we get back with you, we'll know more about the new Judgment Day. We'll have the most anticipated match of the year with Matt Riddle and Roman. If you can't hear the sarcasm in my voice. So yeah, we'll hit you with another episode here in probably a week and a half, 2 weeks, and we'll get you with the latest on what's happening in the world of wrestling. So everybody, if you're still watching, thank you, appreciate it. As usual, just want to say that this channel is now partnered with Offside Sports Network. So want to give them a plug. Be sure to follow them on Twitter. Check out the Discord and everything like that. So outside of that, I think I got everything covered here. So everybody, leave us a like. Let us know your thoughts. What do you think about what we talked about today? And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.